I'm a dinosaur.
I'm sorry, that was meant to be. Oh no.
Leon Kennedy's the baby hanging out with the grandpas. All right.
So sorry.
This
We're all
happens.
very.
It was out of
This happens
respect.
often. Well, I started in 1999. My first convention was Anime Expo, 1999. There were 6,000 people there in Anaheim, and I just found cosplay through fansview.com and was going with an anime club, and knew that people apparently dressed up as characters, and I was like, what the hell? I want to do that. So I made a costume, a very bad costume, but I did go to the convention dressed up. I also, like, on another day, I had like a yellow kimono that I just like wore around to feel like I was a part of it, and literally it's just been ever since then. I just wanted to stay in this world and live in this, go to as many conventions as I can.
You found it comfortable. Yeah, like home.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm happy to go next so I can recover from my mistakes. Yeah, I started right before COVID hit, so about 2019, and it was my younger sister who was really into cosplay, and I knew very little about it, but I wanted to connect with her more, so she had a TikTok account and watched cosplayers, but would not cosplay. And I did not want to really watch TikTok, but I wanted to cosplay without anyone knowing it was me. So we had a good understanding of each other, and so I would hijack her account to cosplay, and through that I realized just how much I loved putting on this sort of persona of different characters, and I don't know, I feel like I could probably do this forever now. So
Yes.
now it's just part of life. Yeah.
That's great.
It's your turn, Odysseus.
Oh, is it? The long and short is I was left unsupervised as a high schooler and started making cosplay skit videos alone in my room and did it in secret. And eventually that grew into like an online following, and
It became viral.
yeah, I don't know if it eventually did, but it was just like something for me to do like by myself. I was very like self-started, and it was a fun way to like play with like filmmaking and editing, and a lot of the same things that I did then I do now. But it's definitely like elevated, and I have like friends, and it's much bigger than it was. But it's kind of funny to think like, it started out as like a lonely high schooler, and now I'm not a lonely person anymore, so.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Right? From being a lonely high school person and then not being lonely anymore with all of this community. It's a good change.
Right, yeah, because before it was like a community that was very online and it didn't feel real, and I started going to conventions, and I think that's where it really started to take off.
Yeah.
Go ahead, give time.
Oh, you want to be last? I had a friend in middle school that was like, hey, do you want to watch this anime with me? And I was like, what is that? And we watched Detective Conan. And her older sister was cosplaying and went to conventions. And so we went along as the younger sibling baggage. And I wore a kimono that I got from Earthbound for the first convention that I ever went to. I bought my first wig there. I think it was maybe one of your wigs.
Oh.
And I got into it from there and just started cosplaying, tried Party City wigs, that didn't work. Continued moving on from there.
You gotta start somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was 2012.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Very nice.
over 10 years later, and here I am still.
Yeah.
It's like 14 years later.
Is that 14?
13.
Oh, I said over 10 because I don't do math. I make things, I don't do math.
I started in 2014. I was working on a nuclear pharmacy degree, and I was crashing out. My friends were like, "You love anime," and I was like, Okay. So we went to MegaCon.
Was that your first?
It was my first.
Oh.
And they were like, "No, you have to do an entire global competition."
Goodness.
And that was the first thing I did.
Oh my
I
God.
competed, and Yaya was one of the judges.
Oh my god.
So it was super exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
God.
And then, I don't know, here I am. I have a whole degree I don't use.
Well, you never know. Okay, next question, please. what was your first cosplay and what inspired you to choose it?
Just go down the line, maybe.
Down the line.
Hello. I kind of have two answers to this. So my first cosplay was technically Sweeney Todd, but I didn't know it was cosplay. But then I guess my first cosplay where I actively knew like what cosplay was and what I was doing was CL Phantomime.
Nice.
I can see you. Yeah.
Okay. So as mentioned, I started cosplaying for my sister, and she loved My Hero Academia. I did not know much about My Hero Academia, so I went to a wig store with my sister, and we were really nervous, looking around, like, okay, what can we figure out here? And a really bright blue wig spoke to me, and I was like, all right, I'm doing Shigaraki. It was a choice, definitely, but honestly, I'm still proud. Every single time I see those like very cursed early photos of that cosplay, I'm like, you know what? It's okay. That was like the origin point. So I can't shame my younger self too hard on that. So yeah, but still, it was a rough wig, guys. It's really rough.
My first cosplay, I have a picture of it because I happen to have my book with me, so you guys can see it here, is at Anime Expo, I did Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't have a wig because Kurama has red hair, but I just did not want to deal with a wig. So I was just little Asian girl wearing a, Shang Sam that I did hand make. That was the first thing I made. So,
That's cool.
I sort of also have two answers to this. The first one that I really tried to make was from Sword Art Online. I took a couple of t-shirts and sewed them together, and then I just Sharpied on all of the red lines for it, and then I went, oh, this looks like garbage. And I never wore it anywhere. I never bought a wig for it. I was like, I can't do this. This is terrible. And then I was like, oh, closet cosplay.
There you go.
This is it. I'll learn how to sew later. For now, I can get a t-shirt and I can do L from Death Note.
There you go. Yes. That's a good start.
So I'd like to say it was something real cool and everything, but there's a 3-day con. So the first day of that con, I was like, I'm going to be an Iron Man cheerleader.
wow.
Why that?
Wow.
I cannot tell you why that was a choice. But it was.
Oh, interesting. So interesting. Especially for you, yes.
It's so specific. Like of all things, you're like Iron Man cheerleader.
It was very 2014 though, because was it Iron Man 3 that just came out or something?
No, so it was, I think it was the second movie.
The second
and he
movie?
comes on the stage
Yes,
and he's
yes,
a little cheerleader.
Yes. Oh, I remember. Trust me. I did the Captain America cheerleader girl.
See?
That was my choice. So I did the USO girls.
Do you still have those cosplays?
Yes.
Cosplay together.
There's no way I'm fitting in anything prior to 2019.
Oh my goodness, that's exciting. All right, our next question. Can you describe your favorite cosplay and what makes it so special for you? The other way around now. You start.
All right, this one's gonna be so funny. So I made Sesshomaru from Inuyasha, right? Solely so I could woo my current partner.
Oh my God.
Because it was her favorite character, and she was like eyeballing this other girl, and I was like, I was like, I will win you with your husband. It worked fantastically anyway.
Yeah, it's successful.
That's what makes it special, is that we are going on 5 years.
Yeah.
So if you want to win someone over, cosplay their favorite character very well.
Good advice.
Good tip. Yeah.
Good.
I'm struggling between a few because that's like a great story, and that's all. Cosplay is also how I met my partner. So
See?
there's a lot of those. Ven and I met in 2017 through cosplay, and we did a lot of Attack on Titan together, and so I don't know.
Why are we not keeping this anonymous right now?
I know. I don't know. And all
It's
those
a lot more
costumes, any
fun.
costume that I've made a lot of like friends in and community in, which Attack on Titan did happen with a lot, are some of my favorite ones, I think. It's also the first ones where I ever got into like prop making with the boxes, the swords, the whole thing. And yeah, it was just a lot of friends. It was a whole phase, you know, the straps. Everybody was really into it. So that's probably one of my favorite costumes.
Cool. I used to always say I can't choose because the whole point of cosplay is that you can be different characters. But I think I always come back to Chun-Li because
yes.
I just like identified with her at a young age because there were not that many Chinese characters, I feel like, in, like the stuff that I watched and played. And so I have cosplayed Chun-Li consistently for about 20 years now, almost 20 years. So I think she just is my girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for me it changes very frequently depending on who I cosplay. I always think like the next character I cosplay or like put together, I'm like, this is my favorite. So for now, that is Sephiroth because I spent so long and such like way too much time working on that Masamune, his huge sword. I completely destroyed the first one. I was in tears, and then with the help of some friends, we came together and we built the second one together in 2 days. And I think just because of that moment and because I associate Sephiroth with being with my friends, I just really enjoy being him. And he's also just so creepy in the game, but I love putting him in funny situations, like making him wear pink or just doing random things as Sephiroth that you wouldn't expect. He's a very fun character to cosplay. So, yeah.
I also have a very similar opinion of it. Mine changes. I'd say right now I fall into the category of a lot of the times whenever I'm cosplaying a lot, in that moment is my favorite. So right now I guess Odysseus or Gojo would be one of my favorite ones. Odysseus because I almost majored in art history. So I really enjoy Greco-Roman art, and doing research for this costume specifically was a lot of fun. And I also am able to really geek out about the Odyssey because we read it in 9th grade, and no one Epic the Musical didn't exist then, so you're not cool if you're hey guys, this is kind of fun, right? And everyone's what? No. And then Gojo has a lot of fun memories behind it. But usually when people ask this question, I actually answer C2. She's mostly just a wig I styled in 30 minutes. But Hallmat one night, I felt like a god for about 30 minutes until the night got ahead of itself. Something about it, I was I just, my makeup always turns out to, I just feel very confident in that cosplay, and I can literally be in an oversized, shirt and a bucket hat.
And it's still you.
And being, it's just, I think, encapsulates, the fun of cosplay, of where it's, where it's the whole sentiment of, anyone can cosplay. I'm also running around in a wig and a shirt I have in my closet and having the time of my life.
Right. Yeah, that makes it special. All right. Our next question. Please. Next question. Okay, here we go. Who is your anime or comic waifu?
Oh, it says or comic.
Comic or anime waifu?
It's starting at your end this time.
Yeah.
Do you have a waifu? I've been thinking really hard on this.
You are bullying me. Yeah, I feel I'm the only one here that knew their answer outright, Faye Valentine.
Oh, there you
I
go.
love a woman that can actually kill me. That's a trope of mine. I'm usually not attracted to a fictional character unless, in theory, they could maybe threaten my existence.
Okay.
Go this way. I was thinking a lot about this, and I think it's Fu from Samurai Champloo. I just think she's such a fun character, and I don't know. I'd love to I'd love to be on that adventure with her. Absolutely. So yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think there are definitely a lot of waifus, but the character that I am the most obsessed with
Yes.
recently
Like that.
is not a waifu, but it's Mao Mao from Apothecary Diaries.
Yes.
Just the freaking best.
Yes.
Just love her so much, and
Yes.
so
She's lovely,
she's just
yes.
my pinnacle right now.
Dang, Mao Mao's a good one.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I raise you Jinshi.
No.
I mean, Jinshi is a
The
good
next
wife.
slide.
No, that's a wife.
I
Jinshi also
am
wife.
gonna go for your forager.
Yes,
I love her. I think
too.
she's great. I love her dark side. I love her ditzy side. She's great.
Mine is Boa Hancock.
Yes. That one too.
So into
I
Boa.
don't even know who that is. You don't know?
I'd
watch
be
the
her
whole
waifu.
culture.
Yeah, I'd be her waifu. Like actually, please, like I'll do anything for you. Boa, you know.
Right.
Please,
Like a tall lady.
If you're watching this,
Yeah.
if you're watching this, Boa, just you know,
I miss you. Please come home.
Since we were talking about waifu, the next question is, who is your anime or comic husbando?
I'll start.
The rest of the panel is just us naming characters.
We can go on this
That's it.
forever.
Yeah.
Jason Todd. Listen,
Jason Todd.
above everyone else.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I love him. I have every comic ever released that
Oh
he's in.
really? Oh my god.
I just hide my obsessions.
In a closet with a shrine. Or...
I have a shrine of him. I have a shrine of Shadow Just don't talk about it. It's fine.
Yeah, mine's animated, but not anime. Lucifer from Aspen Hotel. You're learning a lot about us tonight, guys.
That is a cartoon.
He's animated.
It's animated.
Close enough.
Close.
He's my husband.
The way your obsession with him, I've equated to Gojo girlies.
Yeah, I love him. I love him.
I mean, I'm a Danmei fanatic, so all my husbandos are Chinese.
It's a Hasham.
Yes.
Yes. Of course it's Hua
Wow.
Chao. There's also Lang Lang Ji. And it's, you know, it's like all of the guns. It's Moran. It's Xiao Qie from Ballad of Sword and Wine.
Nice.
It's all of them. So I'm just gonna put, yeah. Danmei.
MDTX.
I feel like this is only recently an anime technically, but I just want to say Dante. Like I know he's in a video game, but with the Netflix anime, I feel like he kind of counts now. So Dante's my man. Yeah, love him.
Guts from Berserk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have to elaborate on
You
that.
don't. We all
Have you
understand.
seen him?
Yeah.
He's stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question. Before it goes somewhere else. Name an unforgettable challenge while cosplaying, and how did you overcome them? You start.
I'll take this one if nobody else is
Okay.
ready. Going back to Attack on Titan. This was when I was cosplaying with a group of people. We had 8 people. We all decided to do Attack on Titan together. At the time, I was the only person that had the time to figure out all of the costumes for all 8 people.
Oh, wow.
Luckily, it's a uniform, so at least there's that. But I had to learn, I was originally going to make the straps for all 8 people, and then I realized that was bonkers, and I should not do that. So I had to learn how to put every single person into the straps with the boxes that I had made for everybody. That were attached to the leg. Like you can't pee in these. You just you're standing all the time. People were crying trying to put these things on because the straps are no joke. I'm on the floor like trying to strap people in, and I'm like, just get it a little tighter, you'll be fine. And they're like, but it hurts my leg, and I'm like, deal with it. At one point, things start breaking because it's my first build, and so like the boxes are ripping off the straps, and I'm just like laying on the floor crying, just like, we just need to go down to the floor. We have a panel later. We gotta get there. But we made it through. We all got downstairs. We all had the boxes on. We taped ourselves together, and we went on our way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we survived, and we had a great time.
Yeah, that's good.
Can it be someone else's cosplay?
What?
My roommate was working on a cosplay, and the way it challenged the entire household throughout multiple conventions, and I hear her say the costume's name, and I'm just like, it's very pretty, and I'm very proud of all you've accomplished.
We did spend an entire day in a hotel room once trying to pin her into this thing because it was not finished
Use
for
the
a con.
hotel bed as a pin cushion.
And sometimes people are just very determined to wear something that is not ready to wear.
I appreciate her determination, and I learned things, like, honestly, some of her hacks for it I use now. And it was the secondhand trauma and observation. And the thing of, like, you know, you're con crunching your thing, and you're like, I want you to, like, you know, learn and do this for yourself.
Yeah.
But also, bestie, please stop doing it.
Can you tell us what was it?
Yeah?
Euphemia from Code Kiosk.
Oh, yeah.
She challenged people inside the household, outside of the household. It's a gorgeous cosplay.
It was a group effort, though.
It was satisfying to see her all together, but
So
then it's
memorable,
like
huh?
the smoke and
Yeah.
mirrors, if you knew.
This was basically one of her first sewing projects as well.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But I guess, like, personally, probably my Griffith Rebirth armor taught me my limits in a bad way. And yeah, it's kind of the long and short of it. I was not healthy while making that. I pulled too many all-nighters and learned lessons in, like, when to stop. You know, it's a thing I'll reference now when I'm crafting, or if I find myself con crunching, I'll be like, we're not pulling a Griffith again.
I feel like this might be a good opportunity to elaborate on my Masamune, the sword story I mentioned, the first Sephiroth sword. I have a problem when it comes to asking for help with my cosplays a lot of the time, because I really want to do it myself. I really want to figure it out myself, but sometimes I don't have the skill set for it yet. So with this particular sword, I had built the whole thing. It was so uneven. Like, if I raised it, like, the Masamune, it's a really big katana, and like 7 feet tall katana. And if I raised it up, it was like it was zigzagging essentially. Like, this, it was not a pretty sword at all. And I had spent so long trying to sand everything, and I was taking chunks of foam out. Like, my apartment was a mess. I was like crying, and my friend basically came up to me and was like, stop, like, just take a step away from it, have your mental breakdown if you need, I'll help you make another one. And I was like, really? Like, you could help me make another one? Like, are you sure? Like, that seemed like a big ask, but no, we sat down together and we remade the whole thing from scratch, like put it on, like made a pattern out of paper, got new foam, and it isn't the most perfect sword in the world, but it is now made out of love, and
Oh, yeah.
it's not a zigzag anymore, so that's what matters. And so I think that was the hardest challenge I had to overcome. Well, now I think I'm more comfortable asking for help too, so
Yeah.
it was good, yeah.
That's a lesson learned, too. Right?
Yes.
Next one.
Do you know?
I have too many. Can I sit this one out?
So I misread this question. So my response is going to be a little unorthodox because I thought it meant like while cosplaying. So my biggest challenge while cosplaying has always been pleasing the masses and not doing what I want to do, or like being afraid of what people are going to think about if you choose a character you enjoy. So I've always kind of catered to like what people are like, no, I think you should do this. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And how I ended up overcoming that is that Liz is my partner, was like, what if you just did what you wanted to do? And I was like, but I have to make money. And she's like, well, if they like it, and if you do it well enough,
That's true.
then they're gonna like it. So
And it shows, too.
exactly. So we started making realistic costumes, and that's how I overcame it. Is that people, if you do something well enough, they will like it. I was like, so that's how I overcame that. It's like, just do whatever you want to do it, and if you have enough passion behind what you're doing, other people are gonna be like, wow.
Yeah. It will come out.
I feel like it's an energy. Anytime I've had like good energy or like put a lot into something.
A lot of energy in the studio.
Yeah.
That's it. 100%.
Okay. Are you really passing it?
I'll pass. That was a great answer. Come on.
I know.
Yeah.
Nobody
How
can
can I?
beat that answer.
Answer is yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's go ahead then. All right. Next question. How has cosplay influenced or impacted your life outside of conventions?
How about I answer this one first?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a life outside of conventions or cosplay. Cosplay has taken over my whole life. And I think it's like, I have definitely struggled at times to, you know, I thought about like what other things I could have done with my life, or, you know, during hard times, I've like been like, what if I just sold everything, sold my business, and like, I don't know, became an accountant or something, like totally mindless, like where it's like the opposite of creativity, because the issue of being a creative in this area is that you attach so much of your heart and, you know, your soul to it. So it's like any success, any failure is directly, you know, connected to you, and it is a lot of pressure actually to do cosplay for, you know, a long time. That's why people burn out and you don't hear from them anymore after a little bit. So I think like, but I really am very grateful for cosplay giving me so much, and for me to be able to build my whole life around it, and that I'm still able to go to conventions. So it's still better than, you know, a 9-to-5 job in the end. So yeah, so there's no change. But,
I'm gonna follow up with saying yes. If you start doing cosplay like as any kind of income in your life, it will take over every single aspect of your life, because you are trading a 9-to-5 for a 24/7. You will think and eat and breathe, and you'll be like, I love this character, and then you'll break down how to make that costume, and then you'll break down what kind of fabrics you're going to use and what wig you're going to use, and it just becomes an all-encompassing part of your life.
It's you now.
Yeah.
Even in your sleep.
Yeah, you're like, you're listening to music, you're like, this would make a great CMV. It's just a piece.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I don't actually know if that counted.
That does.
Yeah, it
It
does.
does.
It does.
I feel like my rebuttal to this is how hasn't it influenced or impacted my life? Because it's influenced and impacted every facet of my life, especially once it became my job. And it became my job once, like, I had like 3 jobs going on, and I lost all 3 of them. And was like, well, I never really paid attention to how much money like AdRev was making, but then suddenly I was like, I have no job. I was like, this pays rent. And so I just like went full focus in it, and was also still applying to other jobs, and I felt like the universe I got like either no response or rejections, but cosplay still like ended up working out through one circumstance or another. But at the end of the day, like the people that I've met through this has been like incredible. Like, I mean, it's
Life-changing.
yeah. It's like, that's like why I love going to conventions. I love meeting people, like, you know, fans, friends, mutuals. Like, I just really appreciate like the community and like the support you find.
Yeah.
And the diversity. I love learning what people's like jobs are outside of like conventions.
Yes.
It's just like you'll see like incredible like people, and it's just like, wait, how the fuck are you like a heart surgeon and like handmade your own like beads on your Daenerys Targaryen cosplay?
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Thank you for that answer.
I can go. Yeah, I think I was struggling to answer this question because it's very similarly. I'm like, well, every single way it's impacted my life outside of cosplay or conventions. I think for me, it's made me more self-confident most of all. So because I found success through cosplay, I realized that like, oh wait, maybe other things that I do, if I put my mind to them, like I can succeed. So I'm an illustrator outside of cosplay, and I'm very new to the world of like, I guess like professional illustration. But I think because cosplay became successful, because I've like made it a career, I have more confidence to put myself out there as an artist in other ways. So that's honestly been really exciting. But other than that, I feel everything's been interlaced with cosplay, and all my connections through things are because of cosplay, which I never expected, but it's been very nice. So, yeah.
So I work as a film producer outside of doing cosplay. And honestly, I think it's things that kind of go hand in hand. I mean, the reason I got into cosplay was because I love film, and the reason I love film is partially also because of cosplay, I think. Because I love, you know, live actions and things like that out of animated things. How do you take this animated thing and turn it into real life?
Yeah.
I don't work in the costume department in film, even though I make costumes, so every now and then I'll be talking to a costumer and I'm like, oh yeah, costume, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, you make things? And I'm like, I do, I just don't want to do it as that time. I don't want to make things for other people. Honestly, that's what it is. I want to do it for me. I've had people be like, do you take commissions? And I'm like, no. Because the amount of time and love and effort that I put into this is too much for me to charge somebody for it. Nobody would ever pay that. It's ridiculous. I will only make something if I'm really passionate about it. I'll make something for a friend if I'm really passionate about it, but that's it. I don't do it for, you know, to make costumes for money.
Like, I give you $100,000, you wouldn't make it.
I would make it for that much. That would convince me. But it would depend on what it is, too, because I feel like I would be like, oh, but what if I don't like the costume? And I'm like, oh. Okay, Hatsune Miku's great, though. She's great.
All right, we all witnessed it. It's gonna happen.
Somebody give me a
Maybe our cost is gonna give
That on video.
$100,000.
Audio.
So yeah, I think that there's a lot of ways that it impacts, you know, my life and everybody's life outside of conventions. I've met a lot of other film people at conventions as well. You know, you get to talking about what you do for work outside of this. And there's a lot of people from the film community in the cosplay community. I think it just kind of goes hand in hand, even though sometimes it's a bit of a double secret life.
Right.
Every now and then.
Yeah. We all have our secret lives. Because I'm a teacher. If I'm not a cosplayer, I'm a teacher too. So it's like it's like Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
So my Superman is my cosplay. So yeah, that's how I am. So we're going to answer the last question here. So to give chances for the others for our audience to air out their questions. Our last question here on our slide. Next, please. Hello. Hello.
Ma'am?
Yeah. Are there any cosplayers or creators that inspire you, and who?
This whole table.
Yeah, this whole table.
That's right.
First of
I'll
all,
take it easy, but like, hey guys, like.
while not picking from this table is what I'm going to try to do because everybody here inspires me. There's a cosplayer named Wei Dai Chi or something. I'm trying to remember her username properly. She's based out of Canada. And she has been recording almost every single process. She really just started a few years ago, and I got the chance to meet her at a convention. We started talking, and she was like, I kind of want to do this full time. Like, how do you do this full time? What do you do? How do you make money doing it? Because costumes take so much money to make in the first place. And she's really interested in competing and the whole making process. And so watching her tutorials, which is something that I think can be really hard to do. Recording your process while you're crafting can be incredibly difficult because it takes a lot of extra time and effort that you're already taking away from the amount of time and effort it takes to just make the costume. And then to edit all the videos afterwards, to post them.
Wow.
She does process videos of almost every single build that she makes, and it's incredibly detailed. She will tell you where she got everything that she's ever used for it, how she learned all these things. I think there's a lot of, you know, people call it gatekeeping, but I think there's also a lot of people who don't have time to share their process, you know? So taking that extra step to record your entire process and share it like that, especially as somebody who's beginning in a lot of things, and just has started competing, I think is amazing, and I really look up to that, actually.
If we're not doing at this table, I've got a lot of people I've met through cosplay that are super talented that I think are worth mentioning. I think Kamui is super talented. I think Alice and Tabitha. I think Night Maya is very talented. I think Hakken is very talented.
Yeah.
There's so many people, Phoenix Fatalist. There's just, I could give you an endless list of people I've met in this community that are obscenely talented for no good reason other than just so talented.
Well, it's a lot of hard work, you know, and I think like, like we're lucky enough that we get to travel and meet them in different countries, and I can see how they perform and how they make costumes, and I love following people's journeys. I love like seeing, you know, they set out to want to do something, and then a year later I see they have like, you know, leveled up and made a costume. I'll just use Nalik as an example, the UK cosplayer, Amber. She was just like, you know, I met her when she was just really starting out and making, you know, costumes, and then she started competing, and then she like, you know, followed my advice and made a website, and then she, you know, now is like the UK champion. Now she's like judging all over the world, you know. So I just love seeing people put their mind to it and, you know, continue.
And progress, improve,
Yeah, I
That's
know.
inspiring.
I agree with it's hard because at this table it's just like everyone here is so incredible. It's like a little intimidating almost. But I'd say online, I agree with Phoenix Fatalist. When I was younger, I followed her and I had the privilege of being able to work with her and be her friend, and that was just like watching her and hearing her story. Like it's just been very incredible. Say her as well as Karina Causer. Whenever a cosplayer is also doing something so huge on the side of their cosplay, for instance, both of them are mothers, I just have this like endless respect that they're able to like balance like having a family and then also creating these cosplays. So I really look up to that, and I'm trying to think, gosh, you know, Night Causer, really such a sweetheart, and I just really look up to their makeup and just their wig styling, so stuff like that. I think every single cosplayer has such a unique style. We were talking about this earlier, but I think I'm very inspired by seeing everyone's unique like makeup and costume like styles and just everything that they do. Like, yeah, that's my favorite part, and I look up to that for I guess everyone. Yeah.
I agree. Like I can find inspiration like with anyone, but especially with your friends or like your mutuals and stuff, to where you can see like a bit more behind that curtain. Especially like if you know like, you know, like them personally, it adds like a different, like you were saying, like those other like cosplayers that are also like mothers, and it's like it's another level of appreciation of like, wow, like you take into like consideration of that. So like it just kind of feels unfair to try to like name specific people, because like I yap too much, so I'm gonna do you all a favor and not start. But I'm like endlessly inspired by like my friends and this community. But I'm also like extremely inspired by like art and fashion, and especially like with like art history and stuff like that. Even before like doing this costume specifically, I always reference like couture. I'll buy like couture books. Like I really enjoy like the artistry of like high fashion, because to me like cosplay is art, and those like high like concept fashion pieces are like wearable art, and I feel like a lot of the stuff we make is like wearable art, and I love like researching and doing deep dives into that, and I like taking inspiration from like very obscure things like that.
Okay, interesting. Now we'd like to have the opportunity for the audience to ask some questions. Anybody would like to start? Yes, come on in. You look pretty.
Thank you so much. So I have been cosplaying since about 2011. I do make all my own stuff, and I'm trying to kind of get more into doing more of the professional side of things, because I also do modeling and all that good jazz as well. But I'm not sure exactly what the best method would be to get my costumes out there, to show it to people. That way I can go ahead and, you know, like make sure that people are able to see the things that I'm able to do.
Utilize social media, but don't centralize on one platform. So, you know, film your process, how you're doing your makeup, how you're doing your crafting, put it on YouTube, put it on cross-promote. If you make like a TikTok, cross-promote the same TikTok to YouTube Shorts, to Instagram, to Facebook. It can be the same content, just put it on every platform, because that's going to gain you traction. And then if you do different forms, so say you're recording your sewing, you're recording your makeup, one of those things will stick, and then you're more likely to build an audience, and then you'll figure out what your niche is and what people want to see from you, and then you can build on from there. I was like, the broader you spread your wings, the better it's going to be when you're trying to like take flight in something that's new.
Awesome. And I do have all platforms and everything too. So
There you
I'll
go.
start doing that
Yeah.
one.
Yes. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Any more? Love that question.
Oh, we had a couple in the corner, I think.
Come on in. Don't be shy. Yes, please.
I'm going to enter a contest. Do you have any tips for prejudging?
Yeah, absolutely. Bring a reference picture of your character and bring documentation of like the process. Does not have to be fancy. Just print out, pictures of your costume in different stages, and then rehearse what you're gonna say to the judges, because you will only have a little bit of time. So rehearse literally like how you're gonna describe your costume to the judges, because the point of prejudging is that we want to understand your process. We want to make sure we don't miss any details on your costume. So we're here in a supportive manner to you. So just walk in and be confident and know that we're all rooting for you.
I'd say also highlight what makes it unique. That's one thing that's always like blown me away in like detail with other people's costumes.
Never tell us what you messed up.
Yeah.
Don't point it out.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't look
We don't
at
need
it.
to know.
Maybe they'll start fighting you.
Also, don't lie about making costumes. We will know.
Yeah. Last one.
Okay, this also pertains to Cosplay Contest. What got you into competing and what made you want to continue to compete?
Well, I started competing 2000, 99, 2000, because there was nothing else to do at a convention for cosplayers. There were no panels, there were no get-togethers or meet and greets or like meetups and stuff. So as a cosplayer, you really only could show off your costume if you competed and in what was called a masquerade. So, but then I realized very quickly that it was like a way for me to challenge myself to make better costumes. And I think I improved my skills a lot in the first 3-4 years of cosplaying, where I really will look at my old costumes during that time and see how rapidly I became better. Because when you're competing, people are going to see the outfit. You're going to, think about the fact that the inside might be seen as well. So you're going to try to do a cleaner work on it. So I encourage people to compete for the sake of challenging yourself. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for your question. Before we go, our guests have some panels. Could you mention what your panels for the next few days? Just to promote your panels.
Oh, I have a cosplay construction for beginners. So
That's
for you
tomorrow.
who are starting out, you can come hang out. I'll tell you all kinds of tips and tricks and weird things you can make into stuff. So that's fun.
That's interesting.
Ben and I are going to be doing a has-been panel. It's not going to be educational. It's just going to be some fun.
You're gonna learn how to be
Come have
witty.
fun for Father's Day. Father's Day fun. Tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow. Just look at the schedule through Tokyo X. And Yaya?
I'm doing a panel at noon tomorrow about social media, but how to go beyond social media and sort of achieve more longevity in cosplay and other creative endeavors.
Yes.
So come tomorrow.
How about
And
you,
I'm
Gail?
doing one in Intro to Cosplay Makeup. So yeah, just learn how to keep your makeup from staying on your face all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for attending. And let's
Thank
give
you,
our
guys.
guests
Thank you
a
for
round of
coming.
applause. Please come and join us later on in the cosplay contest. watch, and you get to vote your favorite cosplayer, by the way. It's called the People's Choice Awards. So get out your phones to scan the QR code during the contest to vote for your favorite. So we want to hear from you all. So it's interactive as well. So please come and join us. We will start at 7:15 at the main stage. All right, thank you guys. Bye.